Hi, and welcome everyone. Yes, your cycle is indeed your superpower, and you can use it to navigate your career, to build business, and to create a fulfilling life for yourself. And this is a hidden secret that I just got to know a couple of years ago. And I want to share with you first why this is so important and that every girl, every woman, every leader, every talent should know about. So I've been working in the personal development industry for quite some time. It is interwoven with my personal journey. I wanted to find solutions for myself and simply started inviting other people on my journey. But throughout the years, I have never came across the idea that our cyclical nature can be an ally in this process. Until one day I met a doula, and for the ones who don't know what a doula is, it's like a midwife. And I met her during my yoga education training to learn how to use the body to help people to really embody their potential. And she initiated me into this topic. She opened up the floor, and since moment I was completely blown away that I have never heard about our periods and cycle, that we can actually use it as our power my entire life. And I was not the only one. I was literally, with everyone who I talked to, had no idea about that. So over the last couple of years, I started sharing this knowledge and hosting different workshops, including in my programs with the women I worked with, and hearing their stories, hearing their struggles, hearing their also wisdom, how they are navigating their life, their work through this. And every one of us hold this a specific secret to that. This is, by the way, pre-COVID times. It's always nice to look when you interact with people physically. And yeah, I want to start off with asking you the question, why do we struggle? Why do you struggle? Now, struggle can mean various things. It can mean that we are having not enough clarity where to go, that we're not feeling confident enough in ourselves. It can be even look like this, that we're just simply exhausted and our body is giving up and doesn't know what to do. And if we can bring it down to very simple, is you struggle because your body is in a survival mode. Your body can thrive if your body is in survival mode. What that means is not survival that you're drowning or in an extreme situation. Being in survival mode, that means that we're working against our inner rhythm and inner cycle. So think of it this way. If you're continuously crashing a wall, it's way more effortful to break through and find a door instead of learning how to navigate and to really just go with the flow like fish swimming in the water. And this is what I've learned from the women, from myself, and through really diving deep into this topic, that we are never taught how to work in alignment with our inner nature, with our cyclical nature. And this creates a lot of struggle for us, professionally and also personally. Now, if there is one thing that I can help you to remember from this session, from this talk, is that your body, this beautiful organism, everything what it has there, is our greatest resource. Our body is literally our greatest resource. So even if you think that, well, maybe knowledge is, or my education is something, an important resource, but think of it. If you're not really having a body which can receive this knowledge, which can reflect it back at the needed time with confidence, etc., then everything what you learn, if you're not having it in your memory, is going to be useless. Same goes with almost every other area. And this is what I want to bring across, that literally learning how to use this tool is going to be your greatest superpower if you understand. For us humans, there are important systems within that we need to understand. And I want to present you two systems that we can pay attention to, and specifically for women, what we can pay attention to more closely. The first rhythm is the Circadian Rhythm. It's maybe something that some of you already heard of. It's a 24-hour cycle. It regulates our sleep. The hormonal intakes will know when we are going to wake up, when we're going to sleep. This cycle and this rhythm is super important for our health, for our focus, for our energy, for our well-being, for so many things, and hence our productivity, creativity, problem solving, and so on. And if you think of it, even our work environments, our whole working system is structured around this 24-hour cycle. So we go at 9 a.m. to work, or we start our day and finish off. We try to press everything into this 24-hour windows. And while this is important for men and women, for male bodies and female bodies, for us women, or the ones who are in a female body, there is an even more important cycle that we should pay attention to, what we usually don't talk about. And you can guess it, yes, it's our menstrual cycle. Circadian rhythm is just a fancy word from a cycle, for a rhythm which is longer than a 24 hours window. So in our case, it's 28 days plus, because the cycle varies from woman to woman, and it's not something which is working like a machine on a clock. It depends also on your environment, how you feel, and it interacts with your surrounding as well. But this rhythm is responsible for your immune system, how you feel, how you function, how your mental clarity works. And the more we understand how we can align to this rhythm, the better we will flow in business and life. Now let's jump a bit into looking how that looks. So one way of comparing our cycle is comparing it to seasons, like the outer seasons. We can compare it to our inner seasons. And the first season that you can see here also on the screen is our winter season, the inner winter. This is where menstruation happens. And you see, I put down day 1 to 5, but these are only suggestions, because I told you before, it's not like a machine clock. We always vary, and our period, our cycle, mine is not the same when I had it as a young girl, and now at 25 years old, it's different. It will continuously change. So we need to pay attention and to attune to that. But this is generally just a suggestion so you can orientate yourself. So during this phase, it's an important resting phase. Like in nature, everything is cooling down and slowing down. We need this rest. We need to calm down. And when we rest, we can really tune more into our wisdom, into our body, into our intuition. And you can see the important part is here to giving yourself the space, your me time, your celebration, instead of pushing it through. Now from there, we are transitioning into inner spring. It's the pre-ovulation phase. And this is, as in nature, everything is organizing and blossoming and blooming. Your estrogen levels are going up, testosterone levels are going up. So everything within you is working towards one single goal. And this time is really good for initiation. Like nature, you can plant seeds of where you want to focus your energy into for the next cycle, for the next month. Maybe it's a project, maybe it's an idea, maybe it's your relationship, maybe it's self-care. But we can really use this energy, if we work in alignment with that, to laser sharp focus our way through. And this is a very good time for organization and really aligning, for structuring things, to really putting things into place and planting the seeds, initiations into where energy should flow. From spring, we're going into the hot summer. This is our ovulation. This is where we peak, our hormones are peaking in a way. And if you think about your entire body is working to get a mate, to really enjoy yourself, and you're very, maybe even extrovert. You're very good in terms of communication, because also your brain chemistry changing. And this is important to understand, that all these phases are you. I always say, like a woman throughout her month is like 4 women in once. And the more we can embrace this variation, the easier we can flow with that. So the summer phase is simply speaking, a wonderful phase, for example, for external oriented activities. So if you have a very important negotiation call, this is the time where you can schedule it. If you're pitching your ideas in front of investors, ideally plan it in this phase. For me, for example, I know that's how my skin looks, how I feel. I'm usually quite shy in front of a camera. So when I'm scheduling my sessions with photographers to create some pictures for my business, I know exactly with my photographer that I'm going to scan it in this time. So I feel more comfortable, more playful, more engaging, which is very helpful. So if we know where we are throughout our phases, we can really use the power of the different seasons to navigate our life. And an important thing here to notice is it's not that the winter is bad and the summer is good, because think of it, if you would have summer days for really hot days for, let's say, a week, you would enjoy it, right? You would go and swim and you would just enjoy this beautiful outward focused energy. But just think of it if you would have the hot days around 1 month or 3 months. So you cannot really function at work, you're sweating the whole time. Now you're actually waiting for a cool wind. You're waiting for a new season to come. And this is important to understand. The power lies in the changing phases, not in every single phase. From summer, we're going into autumn. This is the time where we are harvesting our fruits, what we have built up. So we planted our seed, we worked on them, we allowed them to blossom. And this is time where we're again going inwards again. So now, if you have planted everything before as correctly, you can now really tune in and harvest the fruits. In this time, it's often associated with PMS and different struggles. But here's a small secret for that. If you struggle, if you put a lot of pressure throughout the different phases, so in spring and summer, and especially if you haven't rested in the winter phase, you will continue taking this pressure into the autumn, and everything what have not been processed on a physical, mental, emotional level will simply be amplified here. On the one hand, it's a wonderful chance to really tune in and to see how I can use this phase for self-transformation, for really tuning into myself, processing different challenging emotions or situations that I have experienced and growing out of them. And the other thing is to really pay attention to the other phases, how to allow your autumn phase to unfold its gifts. Because when the autumn is clean, when the autumn is really focused on inwards, that's a wonderful time for creativity. Usually when I work with women, and I know it from their experiences, in this time, it's a really beautiful time for creative expression. I get personally my ideas here. I get on a professional level, but also personally to paint, to express any form of creativity. That's the perfect time for that. And as you can imagine, the autumn is again transitioning to winter when we're allowed to rest and to tune even more inwards. So we really can tune into our intuition and then decide for the next time where do we want to plant our seeds. Now, this is only the monthly cycle. But as I told you in the beginning, it's about the entire women life cycle. So it starts when we receive our first period, the first bleeding, and it continues until we die, actually. And one other important cycle here is the menopause. It's another taboo topic. I call it taboo in the taboo. And it's a different way of how we are becoming. And I placed it in the spring section because actually to Taoist traditionists or Taoist philosophies from China, they call menopause the second spring. It's not like in our West we consider this we're useless or we're not functioning, we're not fertile, but they see this phase as a power phase. They call even women who enter into menopause dragons. So we can see how our picture is a bit diluted of what this cycle is and how we can use it for ourselves. I want to give you just, if you think this is cool and you want to get started, I want to give you 5 things where you can start already right now to tune into your cyclical nature and work with it. Number 1 is track your period. As simple as it sounds, it is really already helpful just knowing when your period arrives. You can have many different tech versions for that. You can simply use your calendar or write it in your notebook, but allowing yourself to write down when your period comes already gives you a good overview. Is it happening regularly? Is there similarities? What's approximately your personal normal? So get better, clear picture when your period comes. Number 2, journal on your inner seasons. The key here is to really self-explore. I already told you some hints of what the qualities and superpowers of different seasons are, but it's really up to you to discover what phase is good for it, what task is it good for, what task it is not good for, what's my mental state, what's my emotional state. 4 women in one. How can I embrace these different women within me, and where can they put them best in these different phases? So start journaling about what you noticed, what was good, what was not good, what was useful, not so useful. And you get after 3 months, a very clear picture of what your inner rhythm is. Number three, that's a very big one, eliminate unnecessary stress. Now, in order to eliminate this, you need to really dive deep into identifying your stressors. And this can be various things. Everything is interacting with your body and with your system. That can be nutrition, that can be food, that can be worry that really interferes into your cyclical nature. It can be hormonal intervention. There are many, many things that we allow in our system to enter, and we don't even know that it disrupts, in a negative sense, our natural inner rhythm. So if we become aware what are the stressors, we can reduce and eliminate them and attune more to our inner rhythm and allow ourselves to be guided by it instead of us, our mind, pushing us into this 24-hour schedule of how things ought to be. Another idea, if you have a negative association with your blood and period, is to reprogram a bit how we relate to our own self. And one idea is to create a welcome ritual when your period arrives. So usually our associated reaction can be either ignorance. I can share you very personally, for a very long time, my welcome ritual, and you have already one. Don't think that you need to create one. You already have one. It's just a question, how supportive is it? For a long time, my unconscious ritual was I received my period without even thinking of it. I was annoyed. I put in my tampon. I didn't even ask my body connected to it. And I just was pissed about that it happened maybe at the wrong time or on my holidays. This is already a welcome ritual. So imagine if you would greet a friend or a lover like this. How well is this relationship then? Not so well. So we can really choose to reprogram our reaction to our blood, to our period. And you can create a welcome ritual by really choosing something that supports you, that helps you to celebrate. That can be a me time, a bath, it can be special period underwear, it can be your favorite chocolate or dish, but create something which really celebrates your nature and signals you it's resting time, it's me time, and I'm allowed to take the space for me. And the fifth step is know your season superpower. So if you get an overview where you are, if your cycle is regular, if there is anything going on hormonally what you can support, then you can really tune in to understand what each season can be good for. And then you, on the one hand, can plan your life schedule and work schedule around it. And on the other hand, know also the light shadows in each phase. So you might not control everything in your life. For example, right now I'm in my winter phase. If I could have chosen the conference on a different day, I might have scheduled it around spring and summer. But I know, for example, in my autumn and winter phase, I'm more soft, I'm more gentle the way how I speak, I'm more in tune within me. And I see this rather as a gift instead of me trying to become a different version of myself.
To interfere that.
Beautiful. I think we're done. That was it.
That was perfect, just on time, and though we're over time, exactly 20 minutes. Fantastic job. Thanks, Lisa. I really love the idea to create these welcome rituals and to reprogram our reactions in order to celebrate our nature. That's the right mindset, and I'm sure many of our participants learned a lot today and will implement the tips and the suggestions that you provided today. Thank you so much. Fantastic job. Alisa, stay with us. Connect in the chat, say hi, networking area, check it out. I'm sure many people want to connect with you. Have a great day. Bye bye.